Haley from OneOnRabbits.com, and in today's video I'm going to be updating you on everything that's been going on in my life. So I've been gone for a while. I think it's been like 2 months, 3 months. I don't know, it's been bad. So I'm just gonna give you a very quick update, even though nothing with me is quick. So I'm gonna try my best to do it as quickly as possible. Back in April, I went to the emergency room due to, I had a portacath, which is a central line for my chronic illnesses. Basically, I run IV fluids into my vein every single day to help with my postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I've had that for about 2 years. I got it in 2020 and it started leaking all over. So I went to the emergency room. So I had a bloodstream infection, which means it's an infection in your entire bloodstream. So that was causing pretty severe body pain. And I was undiagnosed with it for like 3 or 4 weeks because my doctor at the ER did the wrong test and they told me I was fine. Anyways, so I went about 4 weeks with thinking I was fine. Turns out I wasn't. So in April, I actually went in to get my portacath removed and place a Hickman because my portacath was leaking and we thought, you know, it was just faulty and we needed to replace it. I went into surgery and they told me I had a bloodstream infection and they were no longer able to do the surgery. So we removed the port and the entire, like, I don't want to be too graphic, but basically it was infected underneath the port, so they had to like debride it and like put antibiotics in it, and then I was placed on high-dose antibiotics for 2 weeks at home. So during that 2 weeks, I wasn't able to receive my IV fluids, which means I was really sick. So I also couldn't have my fluids before surgery for like 2 weeks. So I was off of my treatment for about a month, which meant I wasn't able to film videos because I kept getting really sick. So after those 2 weeks, I went back in and my infection was gone. So I had surgery again to place my Hickman. And if you're wondering what a Hickman is, it's basically the same as a port, except there's no needle. It's just like this little tube that like comes out of your chest. So instead of a needle, it's a tube. So I went into surgery to have that placed. And during surgery, there was a slight complication, and during surgery, they nicked my chest wall, and my entire left lung collapsed. Well, that's not true, not the entire lung. I had about a 60% collapse on the left side. So after I woke up from surgery, I was in extreme pain. They took an x-ray, told me I had a lung collapse, and I emergently went to radiology to have a chest tube placed. And they sent me home thinking I'd be fine with the chest tube, and that night my lung collapsed again overnight. So I went back to the hospital and they put me on suction to suction out the air. They sent me home again for the second time and my lung collapsed again overnight. So I went back to the hospital and I ended up being admitted for about 5 days. So when I got admitted, they replaced the chest tube for a bigger one, and then they placed me on continuous suction for 5 days while I was admitted in the hospital. Yeah, that's kind of what happened, and I didn't update anyone really. I kind of mentioned it on Luca's Instagram. If you guys don't follow me there, it's Luca's Life Through a Lens, and it's my service dog's Instagram. I kind of am most active on that Instagram if you guys want to follow me there, like with my personal stuff. So anyways, when I was hospitalized, legally my service dog is allowed in the hospital, but legally, you have to be the one to let the service dog out to go potty. You have to feed them, you have to give them exercise. So the nurses are not in charge of any of that, which means I was not allowed to have Luca there because I was connected to a tube. So technically Luca couldn't be with me unless I had someone who could like take care of all that for me, because my chest tube was connected to the wall because that's where the suction was. So I wasn't even allowed to like leave my room. I literally had to like carry this tube around the room with me, and the tube was like filled with like not pretty things. So I'm like, Yeah, so because of that, I had to find someone to take care of Luca because my parents were able to take care of the bunnies and the cats because they live right next door, but they were not able to take care of Luca because one of my parents was either at the hospital with me or my dad like has a full-time job, plus he was covering, like literally doing everything for One on Rabbits. So literally there just wasn't enough people to take care of Luca. So I had a good friend offer to fly to Wisconsin and pick him up for me and board him at her place because she owns a service dog training company. And so she's like, yeah, I'll board him while you're in the hospital. That's no big deal. So last minute, after I was admitted in the hospital, we paid for her to fly to Wisconsin, pick up Luca, and fly back to her place. Thankfully, the rabbits are okay with each other, you know, home by themselves, and the cats were okay. But Luca definitely needs way more care than the cats or the rabbits. So my friend offered to take him, and I'm so incredibly grateful for her. So Luca is not currently here, and I'll get into that in a little bit, why he's not home yet. So yeah, anyways, Luca flew off. Once I was discharged from the hospital, I was on restrictions for about a week. Like I couldn't exert myself too much just to like make sure the lung doesn't re-collapse. It was also still slightly collapsed. It was like at a 5% collapse or something still, which is very small. So the second week of May, I had my post-op. I was all cleared except for one condition. I was not allowed to fly until June 7th. Today is June 3rd that I'm filming this. So I was not allowed to fly until June 7th, and that's because the air pressure when you fly apparently can cause your lung to collapse again if it recently collapsed. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to fly to go get Luca until June 7th, so that means he would have been with my friend for like a month, and then I would just fly to go get him and bring him home. However, that is not what ended up happening. I'm not going to get into details, but basically for the past like 6 months almost, I have been considering to move to Florida. If you guys have been following me on Luca's Instagram, you will know that I recently went on vacation in Florida. And the reason I went actually was to see if I potentially wanted to move there. So I've been toying with the idea of moving to Florida for a while. And the friend who took Luca also lives in Florida, very close to where I went on vacation. Long story short, I ended up really liking the trainer that he was staying with, and he made like a lot of good doggy friends there. And there's just a lot, it's a lot bigger of a city than I live in. I live in a very small Wisconsin town, and I've been struggling a lot with mental health for years. But this last winter was really bad for me. I don't technically have seasonal depression. I have major depressive disorder, which means like you have depression always, but it gets a lot worse in the winter. And this winter was just incredibly hard. It was, I don't know why. I think it was just like a lot colder than normal, and it was bad. And I just got to thinking that I can't live in another really bad winter again. So I was like, what if I just moved to Luca? Like instead of flying there and flying him home, why don't I just move there? Which is like so bizarre and like very last minute. But I did it. Obviously not yet. I'm still at home, still in the bunny room. The bunnies are sleeping. I'll try to touch on them in a second. So yeah, I'm moving across the country from Wisconsin to Florida. June 17th is when I leave. I get there on June 18th, and it's currently June 3rd. So I don't know how long that is, but it's like a little over 2 weeks. So that's kind of why I'm moving. I know it might seem like a really impulse decision. It kind of is, because I was planning on moving to Florida this winter, like anywhere from October to December is when I was planning on moving, and I hadn't really told anyone about that besides like my family and friends. I found an apartment and I signed a lease, and I'm moving to Florida. Now, before anyone freaks out, yes, coming with me. You don't even want to know how many times people are like, are you getting rid of your rabbits? Are you getting rid of your cats? I'm like, no, why on earth would I ever move and get rid of my animals? I mean, I do understand that there is some people who do that, but like, in my mind, that's never something that would ever cross my mind. Like, if your pets don't come with you, you don't move. Anyways, that's just like my personal view on it. But literally, I've gotten that question like 100 times already. Like, oh, are the rabbits not coming? I'm like, of course they're coming. So yeah, I would never leave any of my pets behind. Yeah, the bunnies are coming with, the cats are coming with, and Luca is already there. He'll stay at my friend's house until I am moved in and everything, and then he'll come home once everything is like moved in. But I will live like 10 minutes away, so I'm gonna be over there every single day, hanging out with him still as soon as I get there, like, of course. So yeah, that, I don't really know what else to say. I basically am going to be focusing a lot on moving this next month. So I'm planning on doing a lot of videos. So leave down in the comments like what videos you guys want to see. I plan on doing like a packing video, like packing up their entire room, because like obviously everything in here needs to go. Well, some of it I'm throwing away, like I have old toys and stuff in the closet that I'll throw away, but besides that, everything is going to be moving. We are getting a trailer that is going to connect to my minivan, and we're going to hopefully fit everything in there. I have sold all of my furniture. The only thing I have left is my bed, and I'm literally going to have no furniture. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford furniture once I move there, because rent is crazy expensive. So I might be furnitureless. I do have enough money to like buy a mattress and a bed, so that'll be fine, but I might not like have a couch or anything, but that's okay.
Hi Bubbles, did you wake up from your nap?
So the animals I'm most worried about are the cats, specifically Milo. Milo has pretty severe anxiety. He has a condition called feline hyperesthesia, which comes from, they don't know for sure what it comes from, but stress and anxiety can bring on seizures. So because of that, he is already on Prozac, which is an antidepressant to help with his anxiety. He is also on gabapentin, which helps with nerve pain, which is associated with his condition. Gabapentin also helps with anxiety. So he's already an anxious mess. For example, when I moved from up north to this part of Wisconsin, he hid in my pillowcase on my bed for 2 weeks. Like, he didn't come out except to go to the bathroom and eat. That's it. For 2 weeks. That's how anxious he was. However, he is on medicine now. Like, he wasn't on medicine back then because he didn't have feline hyperesthesia yet. Also, last year for his yearly exam, which is a 7-minute drive to the vet, he screamed the entire way there. And the entire time he was there, it was so embarrassing, literally this screaming cat. So yeah, he has anxiety issues. So I am very nervous about it. So I called the vet and asked for a higher dose of medication for travel. They gave me a dose for Lincoln, which is like a lower level anxiety med if he needs it, but I'm hoping Lincoln is fine. Lincoln is a little bit more used to that stuff. And then Milo has a pretty high dosage of sedation that they're gonna give him. Basically, it's just gabapentin, which he's already on. He gets 50 milligrams in the morning and 50 milligrams at night. But for travel, they raised it to 200 milligrams 3 times a day, which is like 600 milligrams a day. Whereas currently he's on 100. So hopefully that extra like 500 milligrams of medicine a day will really help him. The goal is just for him not to be freaked out of his mind. My vets know I'm moving, so if anything happens, I can call them. Also, there's probably emergency vets the entire way there. So hopefully everything's fine, but I am a little bit nervous about that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing, and I'm so nervous, but excited. And it's just gonna be crazy, like living in Florida. Yes, I will have air conditioning. Don't worry, the bunnies will be fine. But yeah, everyone is good. Everyone is fine. The bunnies are great. They're just very old. But yeah, Ebony is 9.5 and Sterling is 6.5. So Sterling's definitely still more active than Ebony is because he's a little bit younger. But yeah, they definitely don't do a whole lot these days. Like, it's hard to do like, you know, like playtime videos where they like run around and explore, because normally they're just like go out for 2 seconds and like look around and then they like go back and sleep, and I'm like, seriously? So that's a little bit unfortunate, but they're happy, they're healthy, and they love their food. They love to sleep. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for the long silence and now just the rambly video, but we're coming back. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon on a new video. Bye. Oh, one more thing. Everyone is freaking out about the shop. Don't worry, the shop is 100% staying up and running. It's not going anywhere, guys. Don't freak out. We have big plans for the shop. We're hoping to expand to dogs in the very near future. Right now we have a little bit of cat stuff on there. But my goal is to literally have a shop with a bunch of rabbit enrichment, cat enrichment, and dog enrichment, which basically means a bunch of fun, cool toys for your pets. So, shop isn't going anywhere. Expanding, that's what it's doing. It's expanding, not shutting down. So yeah, definitely check out my shop if you guys want. I have a ton of rabbit supplies on there, ton of rabbit toys and everything, a little bit of cat toys, and soon we'll be adding dog stuff for those of you guys who have dogs as well. That's it. All right, see you later. Bye.